Hello everyone, today we begin Project 2. Windmill Cabin, Scene Low Poly Modeling. First, let's review some case studies. Take a look at this image. This is a typical 3D hand-painted scene in low poly. Without any texture maps, many of the details are not represented in the model. For example, beams, roof tiles, curtains, windows, doors, and patterns. Most of these are usually painted on the texture map. Now let's look at the second case, the yurt. With textures applied, you can see many decorative patterns on the yurt. But these patterns are just fabric patterns. They have no thickness, so the structure of the patterns is not modeled. From these two cases we can see, the modeling rule for scene low poly is clear main structure, simplified minor structure. So, to what extent should we simplify a scene low poly model? This brings us to the project specifications. Open the project specification from the course materials. There you'll find the detailed setup. Here, let's focus on rule number 4. The polygon count must be within 1,800 triangles. So how simplified should our scene low poly model be? It depends on how you manage within 1,800 triangles. You must achieve the following. 1. Keep the main structure of the windmill cabin. 2. Make the structural details clear within the limit. 3. Delete all hidden faces. Once the specification is clear, we need to analyze the concept art for this project. On the right is a capture from the standard primitives in 3ds Max. It shows some basic shapes for blocking. For example, box, cone, sphere, cylinder, tube, and other primitives. Let's see which of these shapes we'll use to block out the windmill cabin. First, the overall framework. It is basically a square shape, only the top is deformed into a sharp corner. So its base shape should be a box. Then we have the chimney, and also the beams and pillars, all blocked out from boxes. Now, look at the decoration on the beam. It is an inverted U shape. This shape is not in the standard primitives, but we can take a tube and delete half. That gives us a U shape. This is the same approach for the circular window in the middle, all blocked out with a tube. Next, let's look at the windmill blades. The shape of the blade is irregular. We can block it out using a spline, as taught in Project 1. There are also smaller parts, for example, the axle in the middle of the windmill, and the bell. These can be blocked out with a cylinder. Before we start the task, let's follow the project specification, set our units to meters. Now, we need to place the concept art at the top of the interface and begin modeling. Switch to perspective view. Press Alternate plus W to maximize the viewport. Choose a box from standard primitives to start modeling. When modeling, make sure the viewport matches the concept art. The front view corresponds to the door. The left and right views correspond to the windows. Once the viewport orientation is set, drag out a box on the grid. Right-click and convert it to editable poly. Press F4 to show the wireframe. Here's an important note. The first main structure of the scene model must be built at the world origin. This makes it easier to mirror and merge parts later. So now hover over the coordinate value sliders. Right-click here. The coordinate values will reset to 0. Next, scale the shape to better match the concept art. Press 2 to enter the edge sub-object level. Select this edge. Click Ring Selection to select the ring of edges. Right-click to open the Quad menu. Choose the Connect dialog. Connect one edge, then select the middle edge. Move it upward along the Z-axis. Press 1 to enter the vertex sub-object level. Press R to open the Scale gizmo. Select the upper vertices. Scale them outward along the X-axis. Now the model has a large head and small body, a cute chibi style. This matches the proportions of the concept art. Then select the upper vertices again, move them slightly upward. Now exit the sub-object level. Scale the whole model uniformly. Rotate to check the overall framework, no problem. Now press W to open the Move gizmo. Activate the Move axis. Hold Shift and move along the Y axis. This creates a copy of the model. In the pop-up dialog, choose Copy to create a new object. For the copied model, scale it down. Match it to the door in the concept art. Then adjust vertices by box selecting and moving them. Shape it to fit the concept art. By local move and scale adjustments, refine the proportions of the model. Rotate to the same angle as the concept art. Check if the shape is accurate. Now go back to standard primitives. Create a stone platform with a box. Again, reset the X, Y, Z coordinates to 0. Adjust its length, width, and height to match the concept art. Then convert it to editable poly. Next, create another box. This will be the chimney. Adjust its length, width, and height. Then convert it to editable poly. Move the entire model onto the roof. Place it at the matching position in the concept art. Press 2 to enter the edge sub-object level. Select the bottom edge. Move it downward along the Z-axis. Align it with the slope of the roof. Press F3 to switch to wireframe display. Select all the lower vertices. Scale them uniformly. This gives a larger top and smaller base effect. When finished, exit the vertex sub-object level. Scale the chimney slightly thinner along the X and Y axes. Make it slimmer overall. Select the top polygon. Right-click to open the quad menu. Open the bevel dialog. Reduce the height slightly. Then scale it upward. Click the plus icon. Apply the effect. For the next layer, increase the height. Scale it down slightly. Click the check mark to apply. After applying the bevel, still keep this polygon selected. Right-click and choose Collapse. Collapse it to a single vertex. Now, the chimney's triangular top is complete. Now press M to open the material editor. Select all the models. Assign a gray material. Then, go to the Object Color panel. Set it to a black wireframe. Now, I think the chimney position still needs fine adjustment. Switch to Vertex Sub-Object Level for the chimney. Select the upper vertices. Make a slight adjustment. Double-click with the left mouse to select a loop of edges. Move it downward along the Z-axis. This adjusts the thickness of the eaves. Now, the main structure matches the concept art better. Next, we need to model the house beams. We'll use a slightly different method. Go to the Edge Sub-Object Level. Select the edge on top of the beam. Under Edit Edges, choose Create Shape from Selection. Click it, set the shape type to linear. Click OK, then exit the sub-object level. Look closely. A spline has been generated along the top of the beam. Select it. In the Editable Spline panel, turn on Enable in Renderer and Enable in Viewport. Change its shape to rectangle. Then adjust its length and width. Make it match the beam shape in the concept art. When finished, rotate it. Check if the effect is correct. You can fine-tune the thickness again. After that, deselect it. Return to the main framework. We can use the same method to create the house pillars. Again, go to the Edge Sub-Object Level. Select an edge from the frame. Use Create Shape from Selection. Set the shape type to linear. Click OK. Now, we've generated an editable spline with the same settings. Select it. Based on the concept art, adjust its length and width. Once adjusted, confirm the shape. Confirm completed. Right-click and convert it to editable poly. Do the same for the beam above. Right-click and convert it to editable poly. Now, below the beams we also have 4 stone piers. Let's start by creating one using a box. Drag out a rough shape on the grid. Right-click and convert it to editable poly. Move it slightly into position. Select the top face of this stone pier. Right-click to open the quad menu. Find the bevel dialog. Adjust the height and scale. That gives us the first layer. Click the plus sign to create the second layer. Raise the height. Adjust the scale again. Then confirm. After that, refine the overall shape. Now select the side face. Move it slightly left along the x-axis. Do the same on the other side along the y-axis. This way, we adjust the shape to better match the concept art. We can switch between different sub-object levels to refine the shape. Here, I'm using the edge level. Then switch back to faces to continue shaping. All these adjustments are to match the concept art more closely. Once done, exit the sub-object level. In the Edit, Geometry rollout, find Attach. Attach it to the pillar. After attaching, we now have one completed pillar. Looking closely at the concept art, you'll notice the house is supported by 4 pillars. So, the next step is, go to the Hierarchy panel. Enable Effect Pivot Only, then activate the Align command. Turn on both alignment options. Next, select the main framework. This operation aligns the pillar's pivot point to the framework's pivot. Both the current object and target object are aligned at pivot position. We need to align all 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. Check all of them. Then, click OK. Now, the pillar's pivot is aligned to the center of the main structure. At this point, we can use mirror. First, mirror along the x-axis. Choose Instance Mirror. Click OK. Then mirror the original model again, this time along the y-axis, also as instance. Then go to the back view and apply mirror. Choose Instance on the x-axis. Now, the 4 pillars are mirrored around the main structure. Next, open the Object Color panel. Change the wireframe to black, and assign a gray material. Now switch the viewport to match the concept art view. Adjust the model shape according to the concept art. First, look at the main body, it should be a bit taller. After adjusting the main body, the pillars and beams become shorter. So select the beam, switch to Element Level. Move the entire beam upward along the Z-axis. Now, the chimney looks shorter. You can marquee select the vertices locally. Move them upward a bit. Then move on to the pillars. Switch to face level. Select the top face, move it upward. As you can see, because we used instance when mirroring, once we move one, all pillars change together. Now return to the viewport matching the concept art. Check the overall shape, it's now much closer. The roof should be sharper. Select the top edge of the roof. Move it upward along the Z-axis, then move the beam up accordingly. Keep observing. Select the main body of the house. Press Altitude plus X to make it transparent. Now you can see the chimney intersects too much inside the house. So select the chimney. Move the bottom vertices upward. It just needs to be hidden slightly without intersecting, then adjust its overall position. Move it upward a little, but now it intersects with the beam, which is not ideal. Press Ctrl+Z to undo. Then select the entire chimney. Scale it down slightly. Check again. Once it looks about right, select the main body again. Press Alternate+X to make it opaque. Now, the overall structure of the windmill cabin is complete.